Ladies and gentlemen, Jambo. Now, I want to take this opportunity also to thank the chair and his team, the chair of the Disaster Response team, for job well done. That's a wonderful job. And we have lived as a party with our motto, Tuko Tayari, when we have problems like the ones we have. There has been a major problem in this country with the floods all over. And the other day when I met the governor of Busia, he was telling me that the Lake Victoria had the water had come up 2 meters high. You can imagine 2 meters high. So it was overflowing. And imagine the rivers also, Rivandoia, Rivayala, they all go there. So it's a really disaster. I want also to thank our parliamentary group under the leadership of Wandai for a job well done, and also Red Cross. We are using Red Cross because they are the professionals who can guide us on this particular issue. I remember in my own, when I was governor in Kakamega, we had such a problem along Rivandoia. And when we went there the following day, people had more than doubled, claiming that they were also affected. When they were not affected, other people had traveled from all over to come and list themselves. So it is very important that we use such a professional body like Red Cross, and thank you very much, Red Cross, for responding. We have not come here for politics, as said before by my colleagues. We are here to help everybody that is affected. When we go to Madare, we will not be looking at this is an ODM supporter, this is an ODM supporter. We are going to help people who are affected as much as we can in our own capabilities. I've also regards from our party leader, and he has requested me to read a statement, the position of the party. So if you don't mind, I will read that statement on behalf of the party leader and on behalf of ODM as a party.
Shukrani za dhati kwa kamati husika, hususan katika kuweka mpango huu ambao unarudisha hope ama dignity katika maisha ya Wakenya. Kile ambacho ningependa kusema na ni muhimu zaidi, Wakenya waelewe, sisi kama chama cha ODM, kitu ambayo imetuleta hapa leo ni respond to the needs of the people today. Majanga ambayo wameshika leo na ambayo yanaendelea kushika. Na vile watangulizi wameanza kusema, wametangulia kusema kwamba watu wengi wana matarajio kwamba wakija hapa katika ofisi ya Chungwa basi ni mazungumzo ya siasa tu. Utakuta kwamba misimamo yetu hata kama yanapelekwa na siasa, sisi kwa muda mrefu tuko na mpango kabambe ambao unachunga dignity ya mwananchi katika taifa letu. So what we are doing here today is to reestablish a conversation that ensures katika janga hili watu wasipelekwe kiholela holela. And what is important to note, ama muhimu zaidi kulitia thamani, ni kwamba sahihi wa Kenya unatuhitaji sisi na wewe ambaye uko pande ile. So if you're very comfortable, kama umekaa pale pazuri sana, kumbuka kuna Mkenya ambaye sahihi anasota kiasi kikubwa. Na vile Red Cross imetueleza hapa leo kwamba msaada unaohitajika sasa zaidi sio chakula pekee. And in fact, we're challenged. Somebody asks us a question. You give someone food who has no shelter, who doesn't have the ability to even make use of the food or cook the food. Sometimes it defeats the purpose. And therefore, we must have the priority of ensuring our people live in dignity, people live in secure homes, sustainable homes. And like the SG has said, I would imagine, and really this was the purpose of devolution. One of the purposes of devolution was to create opportunities outside our cities and urban areas. But that hasn't worked. It hasn't changed much. And therefore, you cannot imagine that you would wake up one morning, come to the city, remove people from where probably they earn livelihoods, and send them to other places. That may not work. And therefore, we are calling on a transparent process, processes that can stand the test of time, that can be accountable, and most importantly, we urge that it be driven by non-partisan or bipartisan arrangement, which in this instance, we have Red Cross with us. So we are here to pledge our support and partnership to Red Cross and beyond Red Cross, so that we can be able to say we are responding to the needs and the demands of our people at the moment. Sitaki kusema zaidi hapa, niulize tu tafadhali mchango wowote ambao unaweza kuleta, this center will receive. And sio pesa in kind. Ukiwa na mabati leta, ikiwa uko na unga leta, ikiwa uko na magodoro leta, ukiwa na vitabu leta, ukiwa na kalamu leta, ili watu wetu wapate msaada ambao wanahitaji.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So first, it's quite an honor to join the leadership of Nairobi County here in Nairobi to discuss the ongoing humanitarian situation. As the Kenya Red Cross, an impartial and neutral humanitarian organization, will be working with everyone who is on board, who is willing to help in reaching out to the affected population wherever they may be. We've had an excellent discussion with the ODM party in terms of what strategies to use to reach the most affected people, and we will work together to provide and deliver an impartial and neutral services to all affected population. As we speak, the rains may have stopped in Nairobi and it is looking bright and shiny, but in terms of the displacement situation around the country, we still have quite a number of families in displacement camps. And these are families who are in need of your support, in need of urgent medication, in need of food, in need of other forms of support, including shelter. We've also had a discussion with the ODM leadership around what other mechanisms we can use to support early recovery and permanent recovery, especially in form of shelter to the affected population. At the end of the day, we hope that we are going to plug this into the national response mechanism so that we avoid duplication. And then we also use the advantages of being able to distribute food and reach the affected population in a very coordinated manner. Ours is to thank you on behalf of the Kenya Red Cross for the faith you've extended to us and to the organization, and we will work with you hand in hand. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning to the ODM fraternity and all the guests and partners that we have here today. We are here because as a party, we have been very concerned with the kind of lack of dignity that our people have been subjected to by the ongoing floods and the disaster crisis that we are seeing in the country. So as a party, we deem it fit to come up with an initiative to stand with Kenyans and be able to support where we can. We do recognize as a party that initiatives that are geared towards charitable actions are limited, and therefore sometimes sustaining them are difficult. But we want to be very grateful for the people who have been able to support us to get some form of aid that today marks the day when we are going to start distributing and supporting different families. We made appeal for non-food and food items, and the response has been amazing. This committee is a 9-member committee that most committee members are here and some are not here. I'll just recognize the ones that are here. We have got Senator Amida Kibwana, who is a member of the committee. We have got Imwatok, who is the majority leader for Nairobi County. We have got Honorable Nazra, also MCA in Nairobi. We have got Commissioner Mishimboko, who is also a member of the committee. And then we have got Muzungu is there. But you can take a screenshot of the membership right here. But what I wanted to emphasize is that what you are seeing here in terms of the aid that we have received so far, this has been internal by this committee. And you can imagine that if the committee alone was able to fill our stores, and you can visit our stores and see, you can imagine when we start now getting out and having the entire fraternity being able to support. So the most important thing is that what we are intervening in terms of this crisis is a very difficult crisis, because there are families that have been displaced in some areas. They don't have housing or shelter, so that sometimes even giving food is difficult when you haven't even thought about their shelter. And that is why the concepts like giving cash to be able to have them even just get shelter is a very important one. Now, as a party, we do recognize that we have got our own limitation in terms of thinking about identifying the real families that have got the biggest problems. And that is why we have partnered with the Kenya Red Cross to be able to help us in terms of data management and being able to reach out to the most vulnerable communities that need different intervention here and there. So with that, without wasting so much time, I would invite the SG of Red Cross, who is helping us in terms of just thinking about that particular logistics, to be able to actually share with us a few remarks, and then I'll let our party leadership also share with you the bigger vision in terms of how we are planning to roll this across the country. SG of the party, just to give us a brief on in terms of the plans that we have. The areas that we are targeting this week and next week, and then we'll keep on briefing you on a rolling basis, depending on the kind of aid that we have received going forward.
As the chair said, we as a party, when Kenyans are happy, we are happy. When Kenyans are in distress, we stand with them. And that is the spirit behind this initiative. I want, on behalf of the party, to thank the members of the committee. The 9 of them, as you can see, have been able internally to mobilize whatever we have at the moment. And today, we are making an appeal to the public. Now, you don't have to be an ODM member or supporter. You just have to be Kenyan. You just have to sympathize, to be your sisters or brothers' keeper. That is what we are appealing to Kenyans to do. Now, mine is simple. It's just to give you a schedule of the distribution. Tomorrow in the afternoon, we have scheduled a distribution in Mathare constituency in Nairobi County. Then Thursday, that is the 16th, we will be in Mavoko, that is Machakos County. Then next week, we will go to Maimahiu in Kiambu County, followed by Nyando in Kisumu County, and then Budalangi Budalangi and Teso in Busia County. The remainder of the schedule will be released because we also have to monitor the amount of resources we do have. And therefore, we are appealing, if you want us to cover the whole Kenya, then please come to the assistance of Kenyans. Thank you.
Thank you, Edie. I want to take this opportunity to thank the committee that is led by Senator Eddie Okech, who is a senator of Migori and the Secretary for Disaster Management in the ODM party. That is why he was designated as the chair of that committee. On behalf of that committee and on behalf of the entire party, I want to thank wholeheartedly everybody who has given to this support. We have received support from all across the place. Our women rep, the Honorable Esther Passaris, is also bringing us some mattresses and some sanitary pads for the women in some of those areas affected. And we want to thank you so much, Esther, for that support and for every single person who has given. Also, as you are aware, Your Excellencies, Deputy Party Leaders, that members of the National Assembly and the Senate in Nairobi actually began this process, and they put together an initial amount of about 2 million shillings, which went into the initial support that you saw that was flagged by the party leader himself. So this committee really has picked up and it has done very well. We want to thank the Red Cross for everything that you have done. You've been very supportive. Every time we call you for some information, some data for you to help us, you have been very insightful. And because you have a global view of the response that is required, you have guided us appropriately. We continue to urge, especially as a leadership in Nairobi, as you have advised us rightly and as you have said, right now the main concern is shelter for the people who have been affected and moved away from the riparian areas. And as a leadership in Nairobi, we want even the continued clearing of those riparian areas to take a humane face. I don't think that any person would willingly put themselves in the way of danger. But even when they are moving these persons, it must be done in a humane manner. And we also want some clarity from the government and the authorities doing that movement on where the high water line is, because it seems that it is becoming a bit of a moving target. Today we are told 15 meters, tomorrow it's 30 meters. And of course, because Nairobi is known for ukora kidogo, people start becoming a bit suspicious, Your Excellencies, when that goalpost keeps shifting. So we want to urge that many of these residents who have been affected are Nairobians. Many of them know no other life than Nairobi. They have called Mathare home, they have called Kibera home, they have called Ruaraka home for years. So it might not necessarily be something attractive to them when you tell them to move back to Kiambu or Busia or wherever it is. We would want that government finds shelter for these people in Nairobi so that they can continue with the life that they have known all this time. At this particular point in time, I want us to hear from the top leadership of the party, unless there is anyone who was designated to say something. No? Okay. So I want to invite the Deputy Party Leader, Honorable Ali Hassan Joe, to make a few remarks. But we have the leader of minority with us, Honorable Pio and I, out of respect for the position you hold and the mobilization.
Senator Sifuna and the leadership of ODM here present. Actually, I'm wearing a different hat here. I'm the Secretary for Political Affairs. But more importantly, let me take this chance to congratulate Senator Eddie Okech, our Secretary for Disaster Management, and the team for this wonderful initiative. I want to basically echo what the Secretary General has said, that we are in this together as Kenyans, indeed as human beings, because we owe it to ourselves and to the Almighty God, the Creator, to support those who are in distress. On my part and on behalf of the parliamentary group that I lead in the National Assembly, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that we are in partnership with this initiative. Thank you very much, and may God bless.
Okay, you know, this is, we have to say something. ODM tuko tayari. Okay, tuko tayari as a political party to really intervene. It's not just about politics, it's not just about elections, it's also the human touch. I mean, I was very proud of my party when they suspended party elections because they saw that lots of Kenyans were going through real hardships. And at that point, coming together quickly, the leadership of the party, putting the disaster team into action, collecting everything that they've collected today, and more will be coming. All I want to say is that I'm very proud of our party leader for the leadership that he's given to the strongest and the oldest party in the region of Africa. So we're proud to be ODM members. We're proud for the humanity that we are showing, and we cannot do this without the support of our members and all the people that stand with the party and the vision that the party has for this country. So for me, I'm very, very grateful that I was able today, with the few friends that I have, to donate 300 mattresses and sanitary towels, 1,000 sanitary towels, and some underwears. So the need is food and non-food. And when we were talking with the Red Cross, we realized that there's a lot of displacement going on in Nairobi. And that displacement means that a lot of people need shelter. And that shelter requires money. So we are asking for the government to really expedite the 10,000 shillings that they have pledged to give everybody. But to also know that there's not enough housing if we're going to demolish 30 meters of riparian land. You're literally going to wipe out some slums. And I don't know where those people are going to go. So I want the government to actually go easy, reduce that level, and at the same time work very, very quickly to ensure that all those people who have been given the 10,000 shillings to go and find a board are going to be amongst the first people that are housed in the slum upgrade. And in the slum upgrade, we need more houses for the low income and the slum dwellers than we need for the affordable and the low cost, so that we can be able to make sure that everybody in this capital city is housed with dignity. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Once said, we can only be truly generous when we expect nothing in return. He was generous in his dispensation of wisdom when he spoke about giving, and not just giving, but putting joy in the hearts of other people. We are gathered here today to exhibit exactly that, what generosity is all about, giving with our hearts for the benefit of fellow humanity. The recent rains that pounded most parts of the country have been a blessing to the nation. Let me put it here. A blessing to the nation in terms of agriculture and ensuring the country has adequate food security for the citizens. But again, the rains have caused devastation to the thousands of people whose lives have been ruined as a result of the raging floods. As a result, many people have lost lives, thousands of households displaced, and property destroyed. It is the cause of the nature which no one can predict nor have the control of. However, moments like these call for unity to face the problem together and holistically. A neighbor's problem should be my problem. A brother's misfortune should be the reason for coming together with only one object of help. Ladies and gentlemen, the ODM Disaster Response appeal was an idea whose time has come. The appeal for donation of foodstuffs and other items to help in cushioning victims of the devastating floods in the various parts of the country couldn't have come at a better time. This was a great idea that many, and especially the victims of the flooding, will live to remember. It is sad that we have lost many lives as a result of the floods. In Mathare sub-county of Nairobi County, a mother is still searching for her 3 children a week after they were swept by the floods. A couple of weeks ago, a police officer who was helping people from drowning had slipped and fell in Nairobi River and swept away. Stories continue being said. But the question that begs is, what are we doing to help the survivors of these horrifying ordeals and who continue to spend nights in the cold without a meal? It is worth noting that no one has ever become poor from giving. The generous donations from Kenyans towards this cause is a clear indication that we all care for our fellow countrymen. This is a spirit. As a party, we shall continue to stand with the victim of the catastrophe, disaster, and help where necessary in the spirit of oneness as a country. We appeal to well-wishers to continue bringing in their donation and assure you that the distribution will be done transparently and in full care of the public. Thank you. God bless you. Once said, we can only be truly generous when we expect nothing in return. He was generous in his dispensation of wisdom when he spoke about giving, and not just giving, but putting joy in the hearts of other people. We are gathered here today to exhibit exactly that, what generosity is all about, giving with our hearts for the benefit of fellow humanity. The recent rains that pounded most parts of the country have been a blessing to the nation. Let me put it here. A blessing to the nation in terms of agriculture and ensuring the country has adequate food security for the citizens. But again, the rains have caused devastation to the thousands of people whose lives have been ruined as a result of the raging floods. As a result, many people have lost lives, thousands of households displaced, and property destroyed. It is the cause of the nature which no one can predict nor have the control of. However, moments like these call for unity to face the problem together and holistically. A neighbor's problem should be my problem. A brother's misfortune should be the reason for coming together with only one object of help. Ladies and gentlemen, the ODM Disaster Response appeal was an idea whose time has come. The appeal for donation of foodstuffs and other items to help in cushioning victims of the devastating floods in the various parts of the country couldn't have come at a better time. This was a great idea that many, and especially the victims of the flooding, will live to remember. It is sad that we have lost many lives as a result of the floods. In Mathare sub-county of Nairobi County, a mother is still searching for her 3 children a week after they were swept by the floods. A couple of weeks ago, a police officer who was helping people from drowning had slipped and fell in Nairobi River and swept away. Stories continue being said. But the question that begs is, what are we doing to help the survivors of these horrifying ordeals and who continue to spend nights in the cold without a meal? It is worth noting that no one has ever become poor from giving. The generous donations from Kenyans towards this cause is a clear indication that we all care for our fellow countrymen. This is a spirit. As a party, we shall continue to stand with the victim of the catastrophe, disaster, and help where necessary, in the spirit of oneness as a country. We appeal to well-wishers to continue bringing in their donation and assure you that the distribution will be done transparently and in full clear of the public. Thank you. God bless you.